Oh my God, you can see it. That fatal flaw in your project. A massive error that could sink not only the success of your project, but the whole company. But the person who you trusted the task, the one who made the mistake, should be the expert. Why did they not see that coming? Most of the time, we assume a high IQ, big expertise, is the shield against bad judgment. However, sometimes that very thing that makes someone a genius, an expert, also makes them exceptionally vulnerable to catastrophic failures. This is not a freak accident. It is a well-documented weakness that author David Robson calls the intelligence trap. This is the paradox where our greatest mental strengths become our biggest blind spots, setting us up for failure in spectacular ways. If you have ever watched people with half of your experience fly past you while you are stuck overthinking what is going on, this video, this podcast is for you. We are about to expose those physical and psychological tripwires that cause the smartest people to crash and burn, and show you how to use your intelligence wisely.
Welcome to Advanced Quality Programs with Juan Navarro. In this podcast, we're going to dive deep into the world of quality and leadership philosophies that drive successful businesses and great leaders to actually apply them to your everyday life. So if you're ready to improve your life, one quality principle at a time, let's get started.
Raw intelligence and smart decision making are not the same thing. The Nobel laureate Daniel Kahneman explained that our brain has two systems. System 1, our fast intuitive gut. System 2, our slow logical mind. Highly intelligent people, smart people, have a supercharged System 2. But that doesn't mean that they always use it wisely. In fact, their own brain power can make them masters at justifying their gut reactions, their System 1. And they use that intelligence not to find the truth, but to prove that they were right all the way. This leads them into three dangerous cognitive traps. The first one is the confirmation bias. We had explained this in previous episodes. This is the reflex to hunt for evidence that proves that we already believe in the right thing, while we are ignoring anything that suggests we are wrong. Brilliant people are often better at this because they can actually construct intricate, logical sounding arguments to defend even the most ridiculous ideas. Take Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, the creator of the hyperlogical Sherlock Holmes. Doyle was a medical doctor, a genius, yet he fell completely for faked photographs of fairies. When his friends, including the illusionist Harry Houdini, showed him the hoax, he did not use the facts to correct his beliefs. He instead used his intellect to invent an elaborate reason to dismiss that evidence, effectively outsmarting himself. The second trap is the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's famous for describing how beginners overestimate their ability, but deadlier side traps experts. A brilliant person can wrongly assume their intelligence is not one field transfers to all others, leading to dangerous confidence. A world-class surgeon is not automatically a brilliant investor, for example. When an expert steps outside of their domain of expertise, they carry the confidence, but have none of the self-awareness to see their knowledge traps and the knowledge gaps they have. They are so used to being the smartest on the room, and they do not notice when they have walked into a room where they know nothing at all. The third trap is the anchoring bias, which is our tendency to get stuck on the first piece of information that we receive. For brilliant people, the anchor is often their own first idea, because their first idea is usually good. They stop looking for a better one. They stop searching for alternatives and pour all their mental firepower into defending and refining their first concept. A junior member might see a completely different and simpler solution. However, the expert has already dropped an anchor. He's so fixated on their own initial brilliance that they are blind to other possibilities. These biases have teeth. Early in my career, I was leading a project and I was so sure I was bulletproof. A junior analyst pointed out a tiny flawed assumption I made on day one. My gut reaction was pure hot defensiveness. I almost shut him down. However, later on that day, I forced myself to re-examine the comment. My stomach dropped. The boy was right. I was dead wrong about my initial assumption on timings. I had fallen in love with my own elegant solution that I completely ignored a fatal flaw on the timeline. That moment taught me something unforgettable. Unchecked confidence is a killer for your project. Fortunately, I was able to correct. My own brain had set me a trap for success, away from my success. That experience reveals an uncomfortable truth for almost every leader. Data does not lie, but we sometimes lie to ourselves about what data means. We filter facts through the lenses of what we want to be true. Kahneman calls that being a cognitive miser. Our brains can think deeply, but we default to gut feelings because it is easier. When that feelings are strong, our intellect stops acting like a scientist and starts acting like a press secretary hired to justify that feeling at any cost. This is the heart of the intelligence trap, using a brilliant mind to dig yourself deeper into a hole, all while you are convinced that you are building a ladder out. To escape of that intelligence trap, you must build what researchers call the evidence-based wisdom. It's not about being less confident, but about earning that confidence through three rules. A system rule, an advanced quality rule. The first rule is to actively try to prove yourself wrong. When you get an idea you love, do not just look for reasons it is right. Your mission is to become your own biggest critic. A good scientist does not try to justify and prove their hypothesis. They try to, and absolutely try their hardest to break it by stress testing their own ideas. Scientists and you will find the real weaknesses and build something that can actually withstand reality. The second rule is to bring in different eyes. You cannot see the label from inside the jar. You are blind to your own blind spot, which is why you need other people. This is especially true for experts, people in the leadership positions who create echo chambers of people who think just like them. That's the way you can actually use naysayers. Intentionally bring in diverse backgrounds and create a culture where the most junior person feels safe to challenge the lead expert. Listen for the stupid question that turns out to be the brilliant one. The final rule is to question your confidence. Treat the feeling of 100% certainty as a warning sign when you feel that powerful surge of, I know I'm just right. Pause and ask yourself, why am I so sure about this? It shows you then that is your confidence based on hard evidence or is it based on ego? A powerful mind hack is to self-distancing yourself. Imagine yourself a month from now looking back on that decision. This simple trick creates a gap between your emotions and your logic, allowing you to see the situation with more clarity. Awareness is the first step. My challenge to you is that in the next week, you can find one assumption that you have made that you had never questioned. What is it? If you like, drop it in the comments below and let us expose the biases trying to improve ourselves and our decisions. So let's bring this home. Being brilliant is not a guarantee of being right. Without humility, your intelligence can become the very thing that leads you astray. The intelligence trap is not a life sentence. It is a call to be intellectually humble, to embrace doubt, and to choose being effective over the hollow victory of just being right all the time. The greatest thinkers were not the ones who never made mistakes. They were the ones brave enough to question their own conclusions. By learning to spot the traps, you can unlock a deeper kind of intelligence, one that does not just solve problems, but chooses the right problems to solve in the first place. And that's it for the episode of today. If you enjoyed the discussion, don't forget to subscribe for further leadership insights, and I will appreciate all of your positive reviews on my books, Life Quality Projects, The Principles of Quality, and The Quality Mindset. Stay excellent, keep improving, and what about making better decisions?
One small change triggers everything. Watch how agile thinking works. Inspect, adapt, repeat. Each step builds the next, creating confident, unstoppable momentum. This is the Quality Mindset by Juan Navarro. Get your copy now.